Right then, hi guys, how is it going and welcome to only our second ever YouTube live stream. Everything should be going swimmingly. It says we're live on the OBS, so fingers crossed that is the case. But how are we all doing? Hopefully everyone is doing well. This is going to be the first of many Cheltenham Town match preview shows. Of course, previously we have done match preview videos, and I was considering bringing those back, but the one thing that I did want to start doing is more live streams, and I feel like this is an area where that can definitely be done. So we're trying it. We will see how it goes. I am just checking on my phone to make sure that all is going well. We've got ads, so let me just skip. It all looks reasonably okay. Lovely stuff. Right. So, of course, Cheltenham Town at home to Cambridge United. Back at Whaddon Road, of course, we didn't have a game on Saturday, which some people might view as a good thing, because I feel like even though Cambridge have had a better start than Bolton to this season, I do feel like we're a lot more likely to get a result out of Cambridge than Bolton, and I feel like it was pretty much a guaranteed loss against Bolton, especially on our form. That would have probably deflated the mood, and obviously straight on to the next game in the space of 3 days probably didn't do the mindset any harm skipping that Bolton game. But of course I was gutted because there was no football on the weekend. Watsy, welcome in. How are we doing? Joe, welcome in. Hopefully everyone does go on to enjoy. Feel free to get your thoughts on anything I say in the chat. Get your score predictions, anything like that. Any early score predictions, feel free to get them in the chat. Also, in future ones of these, we are going to get more kind of interaction going, so we'll be getting people on to do live, give their live thoughts via Discord. So I'll basically later on I'll put out a tweet with the link to the Discord server, because I need to start using the Discord more, because I do have one but I don't use it and haven't updated it in a long time. So we will be using that, but from next week, so obviously the preview for the Accrington game, if I do get around to doing it, we will try and get a few of you lads on for your thoughts. One thing I want to say before we do get into the nitty gritty of this preview, I just want to say thank you, and what a man, to Matty Blair. Of course, announced his retirement today at 33 years of age, I believe. What a career he had, and what a player he was for us. Got some vital goals. I believe he scored 2 last-minute equalisers in his time here. Was a massive asset in our title-winning season on that right wing, and of course, last season in League One was absolutely brilliant. And I think, obviously with this persistent injury, it was coming. The retirement was coming. But yeah, fair play to him. Great servant to the club. Of course, great servant to Doncaster as well, and the other clubs that he played for in his career. But yeah, enough of that said. Let's dive into all the stats going into this game. So, here we are on SofaScore, an app, or a website, should I say, which a lot of you will be familiar with, but I haven't actually used too much. I'm only using it because a good friend of mine who also does content uses this website, and he raves about it. So, we're going to be using it today. First thing we will dive into is the league table positions, of course. Cambridge, much better off than Cheltenham. Cambridge sit 5th with 3 wins in their last 5 fixtures. We will dive into who those results came against in a second. But of course, 11 goals scored, 10 conceded. A positive goal difference, which is always a massive start, because, we don't score too many goals, and we do take the chances that we get, to be fair. We've been a lot better at that this season, but they're going to be a difficult team to break down, but they also score goals. That is a worry. However, having said that, I say they're a difficult team to break down. In the top half of the table, they've got the most goals conceded. So, we'll have to wait and see. Fingers crossed that, May and Lundaloo, Ryan Broom, it's just one of those days for them. Fingers crossed it is. I will just get the live chat open so I can read as I'm going. Blair, what a man he is. We know that Cambridge have a very, very solid squad. Obviously, the man to watch out for, I think, on this occasion, it's only fair to say, is Sam Smith. Of course, ex-Cheltenham Maloney in that title-winning season in League 2. And to be perfectly honest, I think a lot of us were crying out to sign him on a permanent, of course, after he was pretty much destined to be released from Reading, and of course he was. We didn't sign him, and Cambridge signed him, and he was absolutely unreal last season. I remember him scoring a very, very nice goal away at Wigan for Cambridge to get a win at the DW Stadium, which was a very, very difficult ground to go to last season. Of course, Wigan winning the League One title. So yeah, Sam Smith is going to pose a massive threat. We dive into our league position, and obviously the less said about it, the better, really. 22nd, however, we have had a bit of a rough start. Obviously, yes, the tactics of Wade Elliott can be questioned. Yes, the squad mentality can be questioned. However, we have played some very good teams. There's no hiding from that. We've played sides that have been recently promoted in Port Vale, in Exeter. We've played the likes of Barnsley, Peterborough, Oxford. These are all very, very solid sides that will finish top half of the table. So, of course, there's reasons to be annoyed. Regardless of who you play, you can be annoyed. Unless you play Man City and what happened against Man City. But yeah, it's obviously there's a lot to complain about right now. But if you put it into perspective, we've conceded the same amount as Cambridge. We've scored 5 less, but this could be a closer game than people think it will be. Obviously, the negative mindset of Cheltenham fans is going to come into play with a lot of the predictions. I did my TikTok predictions earlier on, and the TikTok will be uploaded either tonight or tomorrow morning. You'll see what I predicted, and I think once again I'm going into it with a bit of a negative mindset. However, I'm always open-minded. I had a negative mindset going into the Exeter away game. I thought we were going to get absolutely battered. They'd had a brilliant start to the season. They'd just beaten Wickham at home, I believe, going into that game. They're doing very, very well, and we managed to nick a 1-0 win somehow, which was absolutely crazy. So, we'll see. You'll have to wait and see what I predicted, but I'm not saying it's set in stone. I think my mind will change as time goes on, as we get close to the game, as we see the lineups potentially for better or for worse. Of course, 1 win in our last 5, 1 win all season, obviously picking up 2 draws and 1 win. That is the total of our points, sitting on 5, obviously 2 behind the team above us, Forest Green, which is obviously already absolute nightmare because, you want to be as close as possible, and 2 points behind obviously is reachable within 1 game, but I can't see us winning anytime soon, so not ideal. Here are the odds for specific games, but I'm not going to dive too much into those because I don't like to faff about too much. Oh, what a man he is. What a man. The man who I was talking about earlier, the reason I've started using SofaScore. The Young Fan Podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Right. All of you in here, click on this lad's profile. Go and subscribe to him. What a man. Jack has donated £4.49. He says, good luck tomorrow night, mate. Keep up the good work. What a man. What an absolute legend. Hey, Jack. What a man. What a man. But yeah, we'll have to get him on the channel at some point soon. I actually featured in his video coming up. I don't know when it's going out. It actually might be out. But it's going to be a long video for him to edit, so I'd be amazed if it was out. But yeah, keep an eye out because I will be featuring on it. I give my thoughts on the current situation at Cheltenham. Obviously, Wade Elliott, the thoughts on the Oxford game because obviously he is an Oxford fan. And all that sort of stuff. But yeah, Jack, what an absolute legend. Go subscribe and thank you for the donation. You didn't have to do that. But yeah, Jack does very similar live streams to this, but just a much better quality. And his content is absolutely unreal. So if you're not subscribed already, what are you doing? Go subscribe. Riley says hello. Hello, my friend. How are we doing? Right, let's dive into the away side's results so far then. So, EFL Cup. Obviously, great start for them, beating Millwall at home by 1-0. Obviously, the Millwall side that they did put out was a bit weaker than usual. But still a massive result, and they have picked up some very, very, very impressive results. Obviously, a 2-1 win against Exeter, which is massive. Of course, we went against Burton Albion, and very tight in the end, actually. Of course, with Burton Albion getting a red card as well. A lot of pressure in that game, but they managed to pull through and get the 3 points. Then the one that keeps my eyes open the most, I'd say, is Lincoln City. Now, you might think, why is he saying that? Lincoln aren't an amazing side. Lincoln is a very, very tough team to get anything from. Home or away, they're a very, very tough side to even get a point against. They're drilled well. They've got a solid squad. They invested well over the summer, and to confidently beat them by 2-0 as well, very impressive. So we are going to actually dive into this a bit. It's the most recent result. Of course, Joe Ironside being given man of the match on this occasion with an 8.4 match rating, grabbing 2 goals. Yeah, he's going to be a massive threat on Tuesday, of course. But what one thing that seems to be a bit consistent in Cambridge's game is they tend to have less possession. They very rarely dominate the ball, which could be interesting because neither do we. We don't dominate the ball either. So it's tough to kind of comment on possession because I think it's two sides that play very similar styles of football. Of course, Mark Bonner, he was a very similar manager to Michael Duff, actually. In the last 4 years, us and Cambridge have kind of gone toe-to-toe and, of course, played each other at the end of last season and actually drew 2-2, which kind of summarises how similar and close we were. But, of course, now Duff's gone, Wade Elliott's come in. It's going to definitely be a different story. The game is definitely going to play out differently. I'm hoping that we're going to try and control the game because I think Cambridge are comfortable of sitting off the ball. However, I think... I just think that at times when we do have the ball and we get a chance to play our football, we can look very good. I think you look at the chances that we had against Exeter, some of the football in the lead-up was very, very impressive, especially in the lead-up to the Nundalu goal. Lovely, lovely pass and play, picking out pockets, making runs off the ball. Unfortunately, we just don't seem to do that enough consistently throughout the span of games, which is frustrating and it's disappointing because it's there. It's there. We have the quality of players. Of course, we've brought in Ryan Broom now. We've brought in James Olyenka. We have players that are technically very good with the ball in attack and defence. Both versatile players. Both can play wing-back. Both can play attacking midfield. Both can play central midfield. Both can play defensive roles. It just annoys me that we don't spend enough time on the ball and we don't kind of try to control the game more because we definitely have the game plan there. Maybe not the game plan. We definitely have the potential there to play the game plan. We definitely have the quality there. It's frustrating, but we get the chance to do this on Tuesday, obviously depending on how Mark Bonner's side set up. Already subbed to him and a regular watcher, that is what we love to see. You're a Lincoln fan, hey, fair enough, Riley. I tell you what, I did not see that in the chat before I commented on Lincoln, I will be honest. Of course, Mark Kennedy, I believe, came in over the summer for Lincoln and doing a pretty decent job. Obviously, Lincoln in 20th, but they have had a bit of a rough start, but they've played well in their 2 games. In their 2 games that they have won. Apologies, I thought they'd only won 1 for a second, but my mind was deceiving me. But yeah, you look at some of Lincoln's players. You've got Charles Vernon, obviously Bradford City previously, very, very solid player. Teddy Bishop, of course, also a decent player. You've also got Regan Paul, of course. Powdy O'Connor, once again, ex-Bradford City. Very, very good player. Yeah, so it's worrying to see that, Cambridge are beating a side of this quality confidently. Yeah, not ideal. But, obviously, of course, this is how Cambridge did set up. Dimitar Mitov is an absolute wall in between the sticks, which is worrying because we tend to always make keepers look absolutely incredible, even more so than they already are, which is not ideal. Harvey Nibbs, once again, very, very good player. Sam Smith, Joe Ironside. I would say Adam May, Harvey Nibbs, Joe Ironside. These 4 here are the standout outfield 4 for me. They are all absolutely fantastic players. I actually don't know too much about their defensive line, so it'd be interesting to find out more about Cambridge, because I don't really tend to keep too much of a tactical eye on Cambridge. But, yeah, attacking-wise, there's no hiding from it. These 4 are absolutely brilliant. And like I said, Mitov is going to prove to be a very, very difficult goalkeeper to beat tomorrow night. Right. With all that said about the opposition, I think we need to, unfortunately, dive in to Cheltenham. Of course, 2 wins so far this season, 1 in League 1 and 1 in the Papa John's Trophy. And actually, I do think that the Papa John's Trophy win could prove quite important. Obviously, we beat MK, then got a draw against Port Vale. I do think that I think that MK performance gives Wade Elliott a bit of food for thought, because it was a very different squad. MK did put out quite a strong lineup, I've got to say. Probably a lineup that could do very, very well in League One. Probably a lot closer to their starting 11 than ours was. And we started Will Ferry, we started McDonald, we started Tom Bradbury, and we started Christian Norton. And those are the main four that I want to focus on. Christian Norton, we can probably count him out of this discussion, because I think he won the penalty. He did well on the ball. There's definitely potential there, but he's still not looking to... He looks like a lot more of a midfielder than a striker, I'll be perfectly honest, does Christian Norton. So we take him out of the equation. So we look at Tom Bradbury, Will Ferry and Sean McDonald. Sean McDonald, he was alright. He was decent when he was called upon, but didn't have to do too much, but was solid. Decent distribution, calm on the ball, which I think Southwood struggles with on a lot of occasions, is calmness and composure with the ball at his feet. So that's one positive to take from McDonald. Will Ferry 100% deserves a start. I think Williams is a very, very good left-sided defender. Left wing back, left back, however you want to say it. But I think 100% tomorrow night I want to see Will Ferry start. And I think there's no doubt in my mind, and there shouldn't really be any doubt in Wade Elliott's mind, unless there's injuries, fitness problems, whatever. Because you look at Will Ferry's performance against MK, absolutely unreal. You look at Williams' performance away at Port Vale on Saturday, pretty poor. We got exposed down the left-hand side on a number of occasions, shall I say. A lot of balls came into the box from that left-hand side, and we got very exposed from that wing. So, yeah, no doubt in my mind that we have to give Will Ferry a start at some point, and this Tuesday is the perfect opportunity for him. Tom Bradbury. Now, this is an interesting one, because obviously he struggled against Exeter in the 7-0. However, the whole defence struggled, and I think it's unfair. It's a bit unfair on him, because I think he got painted in a bad light purely because of how the rest of the team played, and it never reflects well on your performance if the whole squad plays badly. But against MK Dons, I would probably go as far as to say he was the best player on the pitch. He was brave in the air. He won a couple free kicks. He was very, very good in defence. Made a lot of clearances. Made a lot of solid tackles. Honestly, there is a player there. There is, and I'm glad to see it, because when we signed him, I thought there's certainly potential. But obviously, he was good at National League level. It's a 2-league jump. It's risky, but there is certainly potential there, because if he can perform that well away from home against a good MK side, who's to say we shouldn't give him more chances? And I'm not saying, let's go and give Tom Bradbury a chance alongside Will Ferry. Maybe if a player gets injured or whatever. But I'm thinking more, bring him on off the bench tomorrow night. Give him a chance. If we're a couple goals up, if we're a goal up, bring him on. Some defensive fresh legs. Give him a chance. Let's let him prove to us what he can do, because I think we took like 42 fans to MK Dons. Certainly, the 42 that went to MK Dons were impressed, and I know about 10 of them were Tom Bradbury's friends and family. But I was very, very impressed with what I saw. Moving on to the other fixtures and the other results, should I say? Of course, Bolton was postponed. The 2-2 draw against Port Vale. It was a tough one. Dan Lunderloo, absolute masterclass on the ball again. He is so good on the ball, by the way. He commands the pitch when he's got the ball at his feet. Defenders can't get near him. He's good in the air, good strength, good pace, good on the ball, good passing, good shot. What more could you want? Cheltenham, please try and sign him on a permanent. It would be lovely. But Port Vale was very, very cagey, and unfortunately, once again, we were very, very below par. I think both goals were undeserved. They both came against the run of play. We had numerous chances in the game, but they didn't come in succession with each other. They came either on the counter-attack, or they came, once every 7 minutes or so. there wasn't really a spurt of attacks. It was all kind of a bit stop, start. And that, that's not good. That's not what you want to see. I mean, you look here. This is how the game panned out and the domination. And basically, this is the spikes of where we performed and where they performed. And you look, in this is the longest. This is the longest time period where we had the most of the ball and we dominated. And it's a bit worrying because obviously we didn't dominate too much. Obviously, the goal once again from down in the loop did come a bit against the run of play, but I think less so than the Charlie Brown goal. Okay, SofaScore has decided to refresh itself. I do apologise, but yeah, and then after that point, absolutely nothing was given to us. Nothing was falling. Wade Elliott wasn't seeming to do anything. He just stood there doing his typical pose of just doing this. Which is not ideal, but we got the point, and that's what matters. But like I said at the end of the vlog, like I said on the match review, should I say, we have to use Port Vale away as a turning point. If we come out and play the same way that we did against Port Vale tomorrow night, we are going to get slaughtered. The last time we played Cambridge at home, it was a Tuesday night last year. We lost 5-0. We don't want a repeat. If we play like we did against Vale, we are in serious danger of having a repeat, if not worse. So, Wade Elliott has to get this game right, because now, if we get a result against Cambridge, a good Cambridge side who have started well and have a very good squad, we can then build. And I think it just has to go right for us tomorrow night. And if it doesn't, I think I'll wait until the result at Accrington away. If that goes against us, I will start to worry. I will start to worry from Accrington away if we don't get some points from both games together. But on the whole, yeah, very, very poor start to the season, of course. 7-0 loss at home to Exeter in the Carabao Cup, which was an absolute nightmare. Of course, here we have Peterborough game, 2-0 up at half-time to lose 3-0. Things you absolutely hate to see. Yep, horrible, horrible game to watch that. It was just frustrating because that's probably the best game we've played this season. And it was only because we had one good half. Since then, we've gone from having one good 45 minutes to having a couple of good 5 minutes. We get about 20 minutes tops of solid play from us in 90 minutes. Never good. Never good. And yeah, it's only got worse since then, really. But we've managed to, I think this season is going to be important to grind out results where possible and then perform where needed. We're yet to perform where needed, but we've grounded out results for sure. Ground out the result against Fleetwood. Ground out the result against Exeter. Ground out the result against Port Vale. And to be honest, you look at the turnaround. These are 4 very good sides, by the way. So I'm, like I said, I'm not getting worried yet. But draw, probably could have won with the chances we had at times. Big win, ground out the result. Oxford, unlucky not to get a point. If anything, robbed of a point. But we have to play better when we have to do better when we have control of the game. But yeah, refereeing decision did decide the results. Of course, Papa John's Trophy to me means nothing. But very good result, very good performance. And once again, ground out the result. So when you look at it from this view, there's improvement. But like I say, tomorrow night is absolutely huge. Feel free to get your thoughts going into this game in the chat, by the way. Don't feel like you just have to sit here and watch in silence. The more interaction, the better. But yeah, so let's just head over to the Port Vale game quickly and just look at the player stats in total. So, of course, I think these are fair. I'd say these are probably fair. Of course, Charlie Brown. I tell you what, Charlie Brown is the Gary Lineker of modern day, isn't he? He's there when he needs to be. He hasn't done anything crazy as of yet for us. He hasn't really done anything too impressive, but he's a poacher, and I love to see it. So, you know what? I think Southwood has improved. The one thing I don't really like about Southwood is, on one occasion against Port Vale, he made 2 saves in about 30 seconds. One of them he probably didn't need to dive for and exaggerated a bit too much, and that's never a good sign. We didn't concede off the back of it, which was good. But yeah, I think he needs to kind of keep it a bit more simple, a bit more basic. And he's a solid keeper. He proved it at Reading last season in the Championship. Now I feel like I've got the wrong club. I think it was Reading. Apologies if it's not and I've got it mixed up. But yeah, he's proved it once before. He needs to just calm down, settle into the club, settle into League One and do it again. But this time in a Cheltenham shirt. Elliot Bonds securing a 7-match rating. Was Elliot Bonds subbed on in this game? No, he must have started then. Okay, fair enough. I must say I wasn't aware. Oh, another player to talk about actually. Dylan Barkers was very good against MK as well. I forgot about Dylan Barkers. Put some respect on his name. He was actually very good against Port Vale as well. Lewis Freeston, I think, was very unfair to give below a 7 rating. I'll be honest. I think he was solid against Port Vale. Circum, I thought, was alright as well. But yeah, to be honest, I'd say on the whole, these ratings are probably fair. I want to see what rating Sean Long got. Wow. Sean Long got above the rating of Raglan. Got above the rating of Adshead. Wow. Adshead did have a stinker, but Sean Long had much more of a torrid performance. Really? Blimey, O'Reilly. Sofa scores on a bit of a stinker here, I think. Ryan Broom. Okay, they need to update his player face though. That's all I'll say. Wow. Okay. He would not be happy with that. Right. So let's just see if we've got any head-to-head stats here going into this game. Let's see what they're saying about the match. But yeah, like I say, feel free to get your predictions, thoughts, and anything that you want to say into the chat. Okay, so these, like I say, are the odds for winning for Cheltenham. We have got a comment coming in. The manager has to be brave enough to sub Alfie at times. He can't play 90 minutes every week. 100%, I agree. Charlie Brown could be our go-to player for May, but needs the chance. Yes, I you know what? That's a very good point that I actually was going to go on to later. I've got a list of points I wanted to make in front of me, and actually talking about May was one later on in the list I was going to mention towards the end of the stream, but we will bring it forward because you've actually brought me onto that nicely. Alfie May has had a very, very tough start to the season. I think, to be honest, we need to start being a lot more brutal with him because he's not the player that he was at the end of the last season. It's clear to see. I think we need to start motivating him more by subbing him off. You're 100% correct. We've definitely got, you look at Charlie Brown's record in comparison to May, there's no hiding from it. Charlie Brown is, at the moment, on paper, doing a lot better than May. Obviously, on the ball, not necessarily. But May in recent games has almost ghosted a bit. I haven't really seen him do too much. I haven't really seen him get too involved, have too much time on the ball, play many passes, have any shots. I really haven't seen that much from May in the last, 3 or so games. So it's a very valid point, and I think Wade Elliott just needs to maybe just kind of move. I think the problem is with Wade Elliott, and that's in this scenario and in general in terms of tactics, mindset, etc. He lets his heart rule his head too much. I think, forget what our player's done previously. It's a new season. We've started poorly. We need to start taking players at face value for their quality that they've shown in recent games. Currently, Charlie Brown is doing better than Alfie May. I'm not saying start Charlie Brown. Obviously, Alfie May is a starting player. He has the quality there. He needs the confidence back. So you're 100% right. But if May carries on to perform the way he is, we need to start subbing him off with maybe half an hour, 20 minutes to go. give other players a chance. Hopefully they develop. Maybe they work their way into the starting squad. In an ideal world, that happens, and May is then motivated to improve. But it's tough, isn't it? It's tough to balance where, you know, you think, do I keep a player that does have quality but just can't quite find it yet, and I don't know when he's going to find it? Do you keep that player on the pitch, or do you bring on a player for him to try and motivate him to improve and get back to his normal self that has maybe not been so good on the ball, scored goals, but they've both been tap-ins? Yeah, there's positives to Charlie Brown's game, but Alfie May carries a lot more positives on the whole. But like you say, I do think that start needs to start being a thing. So Lee, you are 100% right, my friend. Dan Udo, ACL torn, out for the season. Oh dear, is that true? Let me have a quick look at that. By the way, it's off the topic of the preview, but in fact, I'm going to look on my phone while we are talking. But yeah, I think, you know what? Let's try and paint out our predicted starting lineup for tomorrow. I think that's always a good thing to do. That is what I was going to move on to next. Yeah, I'm seeing nothing on this this Danado thing, so. Okay. Right, you know what? Let's paint out. Yeah, I'm trying to. Hold on a minute, right? Let me think about how I can do this visually. Let me Okay, let's go on to here. Let's go on to here, which I know is an easy way to get this done, and actually means I can crack one thing off. Let me quickly log in, make sure the stream isn't lagging. But yeah, feel free to keep giving your thoughts and talking in the chat. I will not be long at all. I'm just trying to get up my predicted line. Yeah, actually, feel free to get your predicted lineups in the chat. And talk about what you want, how you want us to set up going into the game in general. Apologies, I'm a bit distracted. Apologies, I thought the mic was way too close to my mouth. I apologise. Right, okay, this is taking a bit longer than expected. But yeah, I've just seen actually done it though. Yeah, not ideal, blimey. That is yeah, that's not good. That's not good for Shrewsbury. What a player he is, by the way. What a player. Okay, right, it doesn't want to send. Okay, I've got an idea. Right, let me try this. I've actually never done this before, so there is a... No, I can't do that, actually, never mind. I was going to say that's the first time for everything, but... Right, okay, let me do it the old-fashioned way. Okay, apologies for making this stream longer than it needs to be. Lineup builder. Okay, we'll do it this way. Anyone know any sites where I can... Okay, this is good enough. This is good enough. Right, let me just set up the formation 3-5-2. There we go. Nice and easy. Okay. Let me close all of these. Okay, nice. Will the players be up to date? That is the question. Hopefully they will. Oh, okay, right. Wow, this app has not been updated in a very, very long time. Okay. Who do we have tomorrow? We have Cambridge, my friend. We have Cambridge. That is why we are previewing it. Right, okay. Let's do our lineup predictions then. So, in fact, let me quickly go ahead and look at the lineup for last game. So, I think obviously Southwood in goal is a bit of a given there. Bit of a given. Well, there's the stats, by the way, for the Port Vale game. Okay. Right. So, of course, I think Luke Southwood is probably a fair player to start in between the sticks. So, we'll put Southwood there. Right. I've already said this. Oh, hold on a minute. It refreshed the formation. Right. Centre-backs. Right. I think Freeston to start off with is obviously. Actually, no, Freeston's more of a centre of a back three. We'll go Caleb Taylor. Doesn't really matter. They're all centre-backs. That's what matters. Right. Freeston. Right, who is the third defender now? This is a bit of a debate here. Who did Cheltenham start as the third centre-back? Who do Cheltenham start as the third centre-back? It's a very difficult discussion because, yeah, we have Raglan, we have Sean Long, we have Tom Bradbury. But obviously, Bradbury's not in a position to start, obviously, as of right now. You know, he hasn't had any league experience yet. He's yet to play a minute in the Football League, I believe. So, that's always one thing to consider. Of course, we do have other players such as Grant Horton, etc. But, it's tough. It's a tough one. I think I'm going to go Raglan. I hope he benches. I hope he benches Sean Long after his performances. I'll be honest. Right, move up to here. This is really a left wing back position, not a left mid, but it's as close as needed. Right, Ferry. This is more of a wishful one, but I need to see Ferry start. He's just too good to not be in that starting 11. It really frustrates me. You know, it will really frustrate me if we start Ben Williams after his performance on Saturday and Ferry's performance against MK. He's a very good player. He's proved it. I don't know how many more times Ferry has to prove that he's a starting 11 quality player over Ben Williams. I think I'll go to Cheltenham away. Always sounds like a fun away day. And if I'm from Shrewsbury, hey, go for it, mate. Go for it. Right wing back. Now, I don't actually know who's fit. I believe Ryan Jackson is back to match fitness, so he is in contention. If he is back to match fitness, Ryan Jackson. Let me just go and you're seeing my Twitter feed now. John Palmer. Right, okay. Let me just have a quick look. I believe Liam Slocum and Ryan Jackson back in contention. Okay. There you go then. There you go. Right. Ryan Jackson then. On that right side. Toby has joined. Hello, Toby. How are we? Right. Midfield 3. Central midfield 3. Who are we going for then? I think... Wait, did he say Bonds? Bonds not quite ready. Okay. So Bonds will not feature. Bonds will not feature. So I think, right. An obvious one to start off with is Slocum. I think the second one that, if he doesn't start, I will be absolutely amazed, is Broom. Now, it's got to be Taylor Parry. It's got to be Taylor Parry, right? But then, do we have too much attacking? Do we have too much attacking quality over defensive quality? I mean, either way, with Bonds injured, you are looking at a much more attacking midfield. So I think we have to say Parry already. I think Adshead struggled against Port Vale. There's a player in Adshead, and he showed that in previous games. He's been one of our better players in previous games. But, yeah, he wasn't so good against Port Vale. Unundulu, of course, should start. And then, yeah, I think May, but he needs to start being subbed off if he carries on his performances. I think that's probably fair. So, what are your thoughts on the starting 11, boys? Would you take it? And what are your predicted starting lineups? Bertie. Yeah, Bertie. Hello, how are we? Last game. Always sad times. CTFC Toby. No longer to be. No longer to be. I need to get some oil on this mic. But yeah. So, I think that's a pretty strong lineup. And I think I feel like I don't understand. Because I know for a fact that there's going to be people that debate the whole Ferry thing. But if you've watched the previous games, I think it's a given. I really do think it's a given. As of right now, on Ben Williams' form, Ferry is the better player. He is the better option. He's better in attack. He's better in defence. To me, there shouldn't even be consideration towards Williams going into this game. And that's not to say Williams is bad. Williams is still a very, very good left wing back. But as of right now, Ferry is I'd go as far as saying Ferry is our best wing back. Full stop. Forget left wing back. He is our best wing back. Even though he hasn't had much League One game time, he came on against Port Vale and he was absolutely fantastic against MK Dons, a strong MK Dons side. Yes, in the Papa John's, but a strong MK Dons side. He was absolutely brilliant. There is no debate in my mind between who should start out of him and Ben Williams for me. But yeah, get your thoughts in the chat on that one. I do think it, in some people's minds, it's controversial, but I think it shouldn't be, and I can understand why it'd be controversial. Maybe if you haven't watched previous games, but yeah, it's simple. Ryan Broom. If Ryan Broom doesn't start, I don't even know. I think Ollie Yinka will probably get given the start, actually. But that I'd be happy to see that midfield. But I do think Wade Elliott will start Ollie Yinka somewhere. But yeah, Ryan Broom, after his performance off the bench at MK, at Port Vale, if he doesn't start, it's unreal. He's gone insane. He's officially gone insane because I tweeted it after the game, but Broom changed the game at Port Vale. Completely changed the game. And, against a side like Cambridge tomorrow night, it's set up perfectly for him. He can do well in defence, he can do well in attack, and obviously Cambridge do have a lot of attacking threat. Joe Ironside, Sam Smith, Adam May, Harvey Nibbs, of course, as well. I believe his first name is Harvey. I do apologise if it isn't, but I'm pretty sure it is. Haven't seen much of him. Williams needs to be shown that he's not untouchable. Same as Alfie. Yeah, we've just been talking about Alfie as well. I think, like I said, clean slate this season. Unfortunately, we've started the season with the clean slate, and we haven't made it look too good. It's a bit of a mess at the moment. So I think we need to take each player at face value for their quality, not their previous experience. And yeah, and obviously Matt May still deserves to start. He has bags of quality, but I think he needs to rediscover that form, recover his quality, and then he'll be back to himself. But I can see, honestly, I can see it being another one of those seasons for him, taking weeks and weeks to get going, and then when he starts getting a few goals, he'll get at least 10 or 15. I do think it could be just another one of those seasons. But yeah, once again, just going back to Jack, I've just seen one of his previous messages. Very kind. What a man. But yeah, lads, go and subscribe to the Young Fan Podcast. Absolute legend. He donated £4.50 earlier. Did not need to. But that's not what I'm shouting out. His content is unreal. That is why I'm shouting him out. I actually think also, and this is a good debate, Luke Southwood. I think at some point, there has to be a time when McDonald gets a chance. There has to be. I think Southwood's improved and he's still a good keeper, but where do we draw the line between giving McDonald a start and keeping Southwood in and just trusting him? Because I think McDonald is a lot more composed. McDonald is a lot more solid and reliable and composed. Southwood has a lot more quality, but he's a lot more shaky. He still looks a bit shaken up by League One football. I think it's a big difference to the Championship. It's a lot more high speed. Yeah. My one worry is I think a lot of players perform better in the Championship than they do in League One because it's a slower game. It's a completely different style of play, completely different standard of game. You look at Tom Sang 2 seasons ago for Cheltenham, came on loan, was absolutely dire, went back to Cardiff. I don't know how he's doing now, but he was a regular starter and a very good asset in their squad in the Championship. So yeah, it's a big difference, and I understand, especially when coming down from the Championship, it might startle him a bit. But where do you think we draw the line and say, okay, listen, Luke, this has happened for too long now. You're still shaky. You're letting in a few chances that you shouldn't do. You should be making more saves. You need to be calmer. You need to command the team more and be less stressed and be less flustered. We're going to give McDonald a chance. At what point do we let it get to? Is my question. After his performances, would you start Charlie Brown? No, because Charlie Brown, don't get me wrong, 2 goals in 2 games, absolutely brilliant, but they're right place, right time goals. They're Gary Lineker goals, if you like. He makes good runs off the ball. On the ball, as of right now, he's nowhere near May's level, unfortunately. McDonald will start next season. We're giving him a year to see how he can do in a professional environment. That's fair. Yeah, I can accept that. I mean, McDonald is still fairly young, so I don't mind that at all. But yeah, I think at some point McDonald has got to be given a chance. Has got to be given a chance. Yeah, of course, there's an injury that could change things and obviously progress. But yeah, the one thing that's positive is I do think we have a good goalkeeper in Luke Southwood. Obviously, like I said, a bit shaky, a bit flustered, but it is what it is. We have a solid starting goalkeeper. We have very good backup, and that's the positive, I think. Previous seasons, our backup has been pretty horrific. Last season, we had Scott Flinders as our backup goalkeeper. Didn't have the greatest starting goalkeeper either. Even the season we won League 2. We had Josh Griffiths, probably the best goalkeeper in the league that season. He's doing unreal at Portsmouth now, and will no doubt be playing in the Championship next season. And we had Scott Flinders as his backup. And that's one positive change. We have good backup now, which is good. It's an important thing that we did address. Unfortunately, the one other gaping hole in the team that we didn't address is defence. And we didn't get any defenders in over the window. So go with what we've got attitude once again. Things you hate to see. Southwood's kicking is shite as well. We have this tactic of kicking it to Lundaloo and whoever wins it. Mind-boggling. McDonald has to start soon, surely. That's one thing that frustrates me about McDonald is every time, and I rant about this in the terraces and the stands, and I do feel sorry for the people that I stand there on match days because I do. Listen, it's my release, okay? It's my emotional release. Allow me. But yeah, whenever he has the ball in hand, whenever he's got a goal kick, every time without fail, let's try and hoof it towards Lundaloo. If Lundaloo gets it, 1 time out of 5 we keep the ball. If it doesn't go to Lundaloo, we let them have the ball and they counter-attack once again. We need to start. His distribution line needs to start improving, but we need to do better. I think it's a tough one because I think the tactic needs to change. Because evidently, if we keep doing it, they've been told to do it. But in the first place, it's not going to down enough, so he does need to improve his kicking. But it's like you look at in the League 2 season when we had Josh Griffiths. At the time, I'd say Josh Griffiths' distribution is very, very good now. But at the time, his distribution was pretty poor. His kicking was pretty poor. His firing was pretty poor. But we still did well with what we had. Because even if a kick was a bit wayward, even if a throw was a bit wayward, we'd have players there running to get onto the ball. Even though it was loose, even though it didn't go to the intended target, there was movement, and if something went wrong, we had a backup, and we had another tactic, and then we built from there. We seem to just be a bit of a one-trick pony, really. And, yeah, not ideal. Williams hasn't been fantastic at left-back. Should we give Hutchinson a chance? For me, Farry's got to start. Hutchinson, I think, is set to go out on loan. I might be wrong. Right then. So, last things to say going into tomorrow night. Tough game. Very, very tough game. Cambridge bring a lot of quality. They come into the game with the most of the confidence. Of course, league position is enough to see. League position tells you what you need to know. Fifth, 7 games in or not, 5th for a side like Cambridge. Absolutely incredible. Mark Bonner, what a manager. Big difference, easy to tell. But, once again, it's a game that we can get something from. And to be perfectly honest, I say it now, I'd take a point. I would happily take a point. Obviously, if we have loads of chances and we miss absolute sitters and we draw 0-0, I will not be happy. But in most scenarios, I would be happy with a draw from this game. They're a very good side. They've got a lot of danger men attacking, and we have to stay alert defensively. We need to stop exposing it. We need to stop being so exposed at the back. No doubt Wade Elliott, obviously off the back of Port Vale away, will want to tighten up that defence. The 2 goals at Port Vale both came in from crosses, and their men being completely left open at the back post on both occasions. Not ideal. But no doubt that will hopefully be rectified and improved upon. Fingers crossed. And, but Joe Ironside, in general, is the player to watch, of course, because he was at Cheltenham. Sam Smith, the player to watch in this one for Cambridge. And, of course, I think the one man that's going to be vital for us tomorrow, Ryan Broom, Dan Lundaloo, Lewis Freeston. Lewis Freeston got Player of the Month for Cheltenham. Very well deserved. He got my vote. It was either him or Caleb Taylor. And I went for Lewis Freeston. I thought the transition he's shown, the resilience he's shown, the leadership he's shown at a young age, absolutely brilliant to see. So yeah, credit to him, well deserved. He's going to be very, very important for us tomorrow. And Lundaloo's got to be a frustrating player as well. Has glimpses of brilliance, but glimpses of Matthew. Oh no! Don't give me flashbacks. I love how he's the automatic reference. Oh my days. Good old Matthew. Flippin' heck. I think that's how his name was pronounced. But yeah, the less said about him, the better. I'm only joking. What a player. What an absolute baller. No. I wish. But that, I think, and Lundaloo just, I don't know. But he was very good against Port Vale Simples. But fingers crossed we can carry form into this game. That's about all there is to preview. You'll find out my score prediction and thoughts on the day in tomorrow's vlog. I will try and get it out tomorrow evening, but for some reason recently, my YouTube videos have just taken ages to process. So what I might have to do is, I might have to take the FPS down a bit, because I try and keep it on 1080 at 60 FPS. I might have to bring it down to about 40 or 30, and then hopefully that'll just process a lot quicker. But we'll have to wait and see. And then obviously the HD quality processes quicker. But yeah, so, right, we've got, I'll give it about 2 or 3 minutes more. If you guys have got any questions about Cheltenham, about the channel, about me, we'll do a little Q&A to end the preview. Any last questions, get them in. Let's switch back to the full face cam. The transition is out in full force, and it's actually working. On my Twitch streams, the transition never seems to work properly, which is never ideal. I just want to say, though, thank you for all of you that have tuned in. It's been an absolutely incredible stream, and like I say, if you do wish to get involved in the future match preview live shows and you want to come on and speak your thoughts, I will, in fact, let me try and do it now. I will tweet out the link to the Discord server. Or I'll at least get the link now. I'll tweet out after the stream the link to the Discord server. You can join that. You can join the Discord server. And then we will get a few of you on every week to give your pre-match thoughts. Right, let me... That's probably the quickest way to do it. Right. Okay, well, that's copied. Can't believe Ferry isn't starting over Williams yet. I think, yeah, like I say though, tomorrow, please, Wade Elliott, please. See you tomorrow at the game. Hey, who knows? We might. How is Caleb Taylor? Oh, mate, Caleb Taylor is something else. He is so good for his age. Honestly, he's one of the calmest players on the pitch. He's got bags and bags of quality. There is nothing that he hasn't got. He's good on the ball. He's good going forward. He's got good passing. He puts his body on the line. Unreal player. You've got a very, very good defender. And to be honest, if you're not starting Caleb Taylor next season, I'll be very surprised. That's all I'll say. I'll be very, very surprised. Right, any more questions? Get them in now. We have been live for coming up to an hour. In fact, let me do this tweet now while we're ending the stream. Let me do this tweet now. In fact, no, we'll do it after the stream. See you tomorrow. Hey, Watsy. See you there, my friend. See ya. Good to hear. Don't know why we let him go, to be honest, mate. Honestly, he's unreal. He's so good. Thank you so much. You probably recall him. Honestly, the smart decision would be to recall. Because he has been on another level. And one thing I want to say is I'm glad this stream has gone well, because yesterday when I was streaming on the Twitch, my PC just crashed. So I was worrying that was going to happen on the YouTube stream. But touch wood. That's not wood, but it's close enough. I don't know. Touch wood. It hasn't happened yet, so that's absolutely massive. Right then, lads. We are going to call the stream there. Thank you all so much for being a part of it. Thank you all for giving your thoughts. Thank you for interacting. Thank you for saying hello. Thank you for just chilling out. Hopefully you did enjoy. Obviously, it's an hour of me waffling, really. But I feel like a lot of people nowadays do enjoy these kind of just natural laid-back chats about, the club going into the next game. I know I do. So if there's anyone on the same wavelength as me, then I'm sure you enjoyed. But like I say, keep an eye out for the tweet later tonight. Join the Discord, okay? We'll get you involved. I'll try and do the preview show Friday evening or something like that. Get yourself involved. And come on and give your thoughts. If not, I understand that a lot of people don't want to be in the videos. It's all good. But I also understand a lot of you do. So if you're old enough, because obviously I don't want to be getting people that are underage on the videos, feel free. And if you've got something to say, we'll give you 5 minutes. Do a bit of a talk sport style thing. Not that I like talk sport. I don't like the way they run things. Wish you all the best tonight. Well, have a fantastic rest of your day, mate. Same goes to all of you. Don't think West Brom record Taylor. He's been excellent but not worthy of another level. I have to disagree. Of course, big thanks to Jack for the £4.50. What a man. What a legend. But yeah, like I said, keep an eye out for the Young Fan Podcast channel. I give my thoughts on all things Cheltenham currently. Wade Elliott, the refereeing against Oxford, signings that we've made, etc. We get through it all in about a 5-minute period. Just keep an eye out. He's a great content creator. But yeah, we're going to end it there, lads. Thank you all very much for tuning in. keep an eye out for the vlog tomorrow night. We will also be recording a match review. That'll probably be out Wednesday evening. I can only apologise because I'm not willing to edit until like 1 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday night. So, yeah, not ideal. But yeah, thank you for tuning in. Thank you very much for watching. Much love to every single one of you. See you all at the ground tomorrow. Feel free to say hi. I know I get a lot of people already saying hi. Don't worry, it doesn't do my head in yet. No, feel free to say hello and have a chat. It's always appreciated. I like talking to you guys. You're all legends. But yeah, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. Have a class rest of the day.